A bomber that can park outside like a regular plane. Coating so advanced they laugh at enemy radar. Technology 50 years ahead of anything flying today. The B-21 Raider just changed everything we thought we knew about stealth. While Russia and China scramble to catch up, America's newest ghost is already 2 generations ahead. And the secret? It's literally in the paint. What makes this coating so revolutionary that even a scratch won't compromise its mission? Stay with us, because what you're about to discover will blow your mind. Welcome to Jet Insight. The B-21 Raider isn't just another stealth bomber. It's the first 6th-generation aircraft ever built, and its stealth coating represents the biggest leap in low-observable technology since the 1980s. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin called it a space-age coating, and he wasn't exaggerating. This isn't your grandfather's stealth technology. This is something entirely different, something that will keep America's skies protected for the next 50 years. If you agree that American innovation leads the world, type proud in the comments below. The problem with old stealth technology. Let's talk about why this matters so much. The B-2 Spirit was a marvel when it first flew in 1989. That bomber could slip past Soviet defenses like a phantom. Its radar signature was the size of a bird. Incredible for its time. But here's the catch. Maintaining that stealth came at a brutal cost. Every B-2 needed climate-controlled hangars, special facilities, constant maintenance. The radar-absorbent coating was so delicate that a small scratch could compromise the entire mission. Maintenance crews worked around the clock, carefully inspecting every inch of the aircraft. One B-2 bomber cost over $2 billion, and the Air Force could only afford 21 of them. The F-117 Nighthawk faced similar challenges. That angular stealth fighter opened a new era of warfare, but it was a maintenance nightmare. Crews spent hours upon hours ensuring the coating stayed perfect. Any damage meant extensive repairs in specialized facilities. Think about what that means for real combat operations. You can't just fly a mission and come back ready for the next one. You need days, sometimes weeks, of careful maintenance between flights. In a real conflict, that's a serious limitation. You need aircraft that can fly daily missions without breaking down. And here's the kicker. Enemy air defenses didn't stand still. Russia developed the S-400 and S-500 systems. China built the HQ-9. These systems use advanced radar operating on multiple frequencies. They're networked together with faster computer processing. They can detect targets at longer ranges than ever before. The technology that made the B-2 invisible in the 1990s? It's still effective, but the margin of safety keeps shrinking. The Air Force needed something better, something that could survive against 2025 threats and beyond, something that wouldn't spend more time in the hangar than in the air. That's exactly what the B-21 Raider delivers. Before we dive deeper, please take a second to like this video and subscribe. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it means a lot to us. The revolutionary breakthrough. So what makes the B-21's coating so special? It's a complete game changer, and here's why. First, durability. The new coating is tough, really tough. Engineers at Northrop Grumman learned from 30 years of B-2 operations. They discovered something fascinating. Not every scratch matters. The coatings are incredibly resilient to minor imperfections. Small damages don't affect the overall stealth signature as much as everyone thought. That insight changed everything. The B-21's coating can handle real-world operations without constant babying. Minor wear and tear? No problem. The aircraft keeps its stealth profile. This means pilots can fly mission after mission without waiting for extensive maintenance between flights. Defense Secretary Austin made a stunning announcement. The B-21 doesn't need climate-controlled hangars. Read that again. This stealth bomber can sit outside under a simple awning. The B-2 requires special facilities with precise temperature and humidity control. The B-21, it's ready for the flight line just like any other aircraft. That's revolutionary. It means the Air Force can base these bombers almost anywhere. Forward operating bases become possible. Rapid deployment scenarios become realistic. The logistics that tied the B-2 to specific locations, gone. Second, the coating is embedded into the aircraft structure. It's not just painted on top. The advanced composite materials are stealthy by nature, then coated with radar-absorbing material that's thinner and multifunctional. The precise design remains classified, but we know it represents 50 years of advancement in low-observable technology. The B-21 features very large composite components with minimal joints and seams. Fewer seams mean fewer places for radar waves to bounce back. The entire aircraft is smoother, more integrated. Every surface works together to defeat enemy radar. Third, multispectral stealth. The B-2 was optimized primarily for radar stealth. The B-21 goes further. It reduces visibility across multiple spectrums: radar, infrared, acoustic, and electronic signatures. Enemy systems can't just look for heat or sound or radio emissions and find it. The bomber defeats detection across the board. The coating absorbs and scatters radar waves far more effectively than previous materials. When enemy radar sends out electromagnetic pulses, the B-21's surface soaks them up like a sponge or deflects them away. The return signal? Practically nothing. Real-world impact. Imagine a scenario where tensions escalate with a near-peer adversary. The enemy has spent billions on integrated air defense systems, S-400 batteries networked together, advanced radar operating on multiple frequencies, fighter aircraft on alert. This is the hardest target environment in the world. The B-2 could penetrate these defenses, but mission planners would sweat every detail. Approach routes carefully calculated, timing critical, limited windows of opportunity, and after the mission, extensive maintenance before the aircraft could fly again. The B-21 changes the equation completely. It can fly through the same defenses with an even smaller radar signature. The multispectral stealth means enemy systems struggle to detect it using any method. And here's the beautiful part. It can do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. That sustained operational tempo is a strategic game changer. In the first days of a conflict, you need multiple strikes to take out enemy air defenses, command centers, and critical infrastructure. The B-21 can maintain that pressure without exhausting your fleet through maintenance requirements. The coating's resilience means combat damage that would ground a B-2 for weeks might not even affect a B-21's stealth profile. Small arms fire, shrapnel from near misses, harsh weather conditions. The new coating handles it all. Northrop Grumman built a special coatings facility at Plant 42 in Palmdale, California. That facility, completed in 2019, applies these advanced coatings to every B-21, rolling off the production line. The process uses automated techniques and quality control that ensures every aircraft meets exacting standards. Flight testing validates these claims. The first B-21 flew in November 2023 and has been conducting regular test flights since then, 1 to 2 flights per week, putting the coating through real-world conditions. The second B-21 joined flight testing in September 2025. Engineers monitor every aspect of the coating's performance. So far, everything matches or exceeds predictions. The test program includes extreme weather conditions, hot desert environments, cold high-altitude flights, rain, humidity, temperature swings. The coating keeps performing. That's not theory or marketing. That's actual flight data from hundreds of test hours. The numbers tell the story. Here's where things get really impressive. Cost and production numbers. Each B-21 cost approximately $700 million. That sounds like a lot, and it is. But compare it to the B-2's price tag, over $2 billion per aircraft. The B-21 costs less than a third of what the B-2 cost, even accounting for inflation. Why does that matter? Because the Air Force can afford to buy more of them. A lot more. The current plan calls for at least 100 B-21 Raiders. Congress recently allocated $4.5 billion to accelerate production. Many experts expect that final number to grow well beyond 100 aircraft. As of April 2025, nearly 40 B-21 bombers are in various stages of production at Northrop Grumman's Palmdale facility. The production line is humming. Workers have perfected the manufacturing processes. Each aircraft takes advantage of digital engineering and advanced manufacturing techniques that simply didn't exist when the B-2 was built. The B-2 fleet, 21 aircraft total. That's it. Budget constraints killed the program before reaching the originally planned 132 aircraft. Having only 21 bombers meant the Air Force struggled to meet combat commander demands. There simply weren't enough bombers to go around. 100 B-21s changes everything. That's a real fleet capable of sustained operations. You can have aircraft forward deployed, others in training, some in deep maintenance, and still have plenty ready for combat missions. That's how you maintain credible deterrence against multiple potential adversaries. The lower maintenance requirements multiply this advantage. If each B-21 can fly twice as many missions before needing extensive maintenance, you've effectively doubled your fleet's capability. That's the power of the new coding technology. And here's something our community of military veterans and aviation enthusiasts really appreciates. These aren't just numbers on paper. Real aircraft are flying right now. Real maintainers are learning how to service them. Real pilots are discovering how the B-21 handles. This isn't some distant future project. It's happening today. The Air Force plans to reach initial operational capability before the end of the decade. The first operational B-21s will be based at Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. Additional bombers will deploy to Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri and Dyess Air Force Base in Texas. Infrastructure construction at these bases is already underway. Staying ahead of the threat, let's address the elephant in the room. Can the B-21 really stay ahead of advancing enemy air defenses? Russian state media loves to boast that their S-400 and S-500 systems can track and shoot down stealth aircraft. Chinese propaganda makes similar claims about the HQ-9. Should we be worried? Here's the reality. Yes, air defense technology keeps improving. Radar systems operate on wider frequency ranges. Digital processing speeds increase. Networks link multiple sensors together. These are real advancements that make life harder for stealth aircraft. But the B-21 was designed specifically to counter these threats. The coding technology absorbs radar energy across multiple frequency bands. Wideband stealth means enemy systems can't just switch to a different frequency and suddenly see the bomber. The aircraft defeats detection methods that won't be deployed for another decade. The multispectral approach is crucial here. Say an enemy system manages to catch a fleeting radar return. That doesn't mean they can track the aircraft. The infrared signature is minimized through advanced thermal management. The acoustic signature is reduced through engine design and airflow management. Electronic emissions are carefully controlled. Even if enemy systems detect something for a brief moment, turning that into an actual weapons quality track is incredibly difficult. The B-21 moves through their engagement envelope before they can establish a firing solution. And remember, this bomber will likely be accompanied by electronic warfare support, fighter escorts, and suppression of enemy air defense missions. The real genius is the open systems architecture. The B-21 isn't a static design locked into 2020's technology. It's built for continuous upgrades, new sensors, new weapons, new electronic warfare systems. They can all be integrated quickly. As threats evolve, the B-21 evolves with them. This is the lesson learned from decades of operating the B-2. That aircraft received periodic upgrades to its systems, but the basic architecture made changes difficult and expensive. The B-21's modular design means upgrades happen faster and cheaper. The coding technology works the same way. Future improvements can be incorporated without redesigning the entire aircraft. Our Air Force learned these lessons the hard way. Programs like the F-35 struggled with cost overruns and delays, partly because the design wasn't flexible enough. The B-21 program applied those lessons from day one. Build in flexibility. Plan for the future. Make upgrades part of the design, not an afterthought. The result? A bomber that will remain effective against threats we haven't even seen yet. The coding technology is ahead of anything flying today, and the aircraft can incorporate next-generation improvements as they become available. China is working on the H-20 stealth bomber, but it's years behind and lacks the operational experience. Makes potential adversaries think twice about aggressive actions. Deterrence works best when it's credible. The enemy has to believe you can actually carry out your threat. Adversaries struggle with first-generation stealth technology. The United States is fielding sixth-generation aircraft with revolutionary codings that change the entire calculus of air warfare. This bomber will form the backbone of America's strategic deterrence for the next 50 years. It can deliver both conventional and nuclear weapons deep into enemy territory. The mere existence of a fleet of 100 or more B-21s. The bigger picture. Step back and look at the strategic implications. The B-21 Raider represents more than just a new bomber. It's a statement about American technological leadership. While experience base the United States has accumulated. Russia's PAKDA program is mired in delays with no confirmed prototypes. Neither adversary has figured out the maintenance and sustainment challenges the B-21 has already solved. innovation can provide. The men and women who volunteer to defend this nation shouldn't go into harm's way with second-rate tools. The B-21 Raider ensures they won't happen. That's a whole different level of credibility. The coding technology makes all of this possible. Without those maintenance advantages, without that durability, without that multispectral stealth, the B-21 would just be an incremental improvement. Instead, it's a generational leap that redefines what's possible. Our military deserves the best equipment American innovates. A fleet of 21 B-2s, each requiring extensive maintenance and special facilities, provides some deterrence. But a fleet of 100-plus B-21s that can fly daily missions from forward bases